right, we will begin this transmission in the following way. First and foremost, as always, we extend to each and every one of you, and all of you together, our heartfelt appreciation and gratitude for the co-creation of this interaction this day of your time. We would like to deliver now, in this particular manner, the idea that we are now calling the fifth law. Many of you have heard us talk about the idea before of the four laws of creation. You exist, number one. The one is the all are the one, number two. What you put out is what you get back, number three. And everything changes, except the first three laws. That's number four. However, now, we have been in our society discussing for a while the idea that there may be a reason to create or acknowledge the idea of a fifth law. This is not necessarily because we have discovered a truly new principle, but because the idea is a subset of one of the four laws, but a strong enough subset that it may need to stand on its own as its own law. The reason why we have begun to examine this as a possibility is that we have noticed in many of our interactions with certain civilizations that there are different kinds of interpretations, different kinds of levels of understanding and comprehension, and even different ways in which these concepts are translated into their languages, their ability to perceive concepts, to translate and apply concepts in their respective realities. And we have found that some civilizations have what you may call an easier time of understanding the concept of the laws of creation if this subset is broken out into its own law. Now, we are in some ways still discussing this, but one of the reasons we are bringing this up this day of your time in this transmission is to also include you, your world, in the discussion. To give you a little bit, just a hint, just the beginning of a sense of what it's like to belong to the Interstellar Alliance, the Association of Worlds, to participate in one of our discussions, in one of our challenges, in one of our explorations, to whatever degree excites you. So the idea we are presenting here today for you is the opportunity to give us what you call your feedback, what you think, your opinion, as to whether or not you believe that this subset ought to be called out as a fifth law with respect either to your own civilization or even just with respect to the general concept of pulling this out into its own law for the sake of clarity for any civilization. So, the subset now, as we are labeling it, is the concept that we have talked about of the fact that everything exists here and now. So even though the simultaneity of everything, the fact that everything exists all at once, here and now, has been discussed by us many times, it has always been, in a sense, implied within the ideas of the four laws, in the concept that you exist, in the concept that the one is the all and the all are the one. That subset is implied therein. Because the only way that that could exist, the only way that that could happen is, in fact, if everything is here and now. And that the concept of space and time and distance is an illusion. So while this, as we have said, is not really a new concept, the idea of pulling it out into its own law is. So thus, in having 5 laws, potentially, it would be law number 1, you exist. Can't change that. Law number 2, thus then, would now be the new subset. Everything is here and now. Thus then pushing the idea of the old number 2 into number 3. The 1 is the all are the 1. 3 into 4, what you put out is what you get back, and 4 into the 5th law. Everything changes except the first 4 laws. If you believe that this provides some additional clarity, an additional reminder that everything is simultaneous, then that might be good reason for you to vote, shall we say, for the idea of 5 laws instead of 4. If you believe that it really makes no difference to you, and that it is fine as a subset implication within the 4 laws, then by all means you can share your opinion on that. Now, these opinions can be shared with us during the time of the live interactions between us after this recorded transmission. When you come up to ask your questions of us or have dialogue with us, we will engage you and ask you for your opinion on this subject. And as we ask you your opinion, your point of view, your perspective on this idea, it will be heard, it will be tallied telepathically to all the individuals who are focused on this idea, this issue, at this time within the Interstellar Alliance. For we are opening up our doors as well as our hearts to you, giving you a seat at the table, as it were, to begin a discussion with us, to begin, in that sense, to learn your place, in a sense, to earn your place, in a sense, not meaning in that sense that you don't deserve it anyway, but the idea to truly participate in a way that will allow you to feel more and more engaged within the Interstellar Alliance, give you more opportunities to practice thinking about cosmic issues, and to know that your perspectives are valid and valuable to us, and that we invite you in to let us know what you truly think, what you truly believe, what you truly feel about some of the things that we investigate and that we explore in our reality, since eventually you are becoming part of the reality we will share with you, and vice versa. So, is it your opinion thus then that the 4 laws are sufficient, as they are, with all the implications intact? Or do you believe that extra clarity may be required, not only for yourselves, perhaps, but also for other civilizations that might be similar to your own, or simply have a context or a perception of reality that would require that extra little bit of clarity? Just to make sure that these transmissions will be translated in ways that can be truly applied as fully as possible into whatever respective reality we may be transmitting the information about the 4 laws, including your own, as we said. Now, I will, as you say, be very direct and honest with you, in a sense, especially because all things are simultaneous and all things are here and now. In a sense, our civilization has already made up its mind. But please do not allow that to make you feel that we are discounting your opinion. Because again, everything is flexible. Everything is fluid. There are always unlimited probabilities in many of these kinds of ideas and conjectures and explorations. And we are not beyond shifting to a reality that would allow it to appear that we have changed our minds once again. So by all means, please, do not think that just because we may have made up our minds, that gives no power or impetus or credence or validity to your particular opinion on this matter, because it does. And certainly there are other civilizations that had not yet truly decided what they would prefer with respect to this issue. But nevertheless, it matters not, as I said. Because even though our civilization may have its perspective and as you say, have made up its mind in one reality, we are very, very malleable consciousnesses and may find ourselves unexpectedly shifting to another reality where we have no longer made that particular conclusion, which is absolutely fine with us. But this is simply how we operate. At any given moment, with any idea that comes into our society, each individual and the collective is allowed to simply make up its mind, to come to an absolute understanding with total conviction, total understanding, total knowingness that this is so. But you see, in our reality, it doesn't matter if we arrive at absolute and total conviction, because in the very next moment, we can have absolute total conviction of something completely different. We do not need to hesitate in our reality to have conviction about an idea because we think we might be missing something, or we might be forgetting something, or we might, in that sense, not quite get it, quote unquote, right. It does not matter, because we always know, we always have the choice, the freedom to choose to have a completely different opinion and a completely different conviction in the very next instant. And we don't see that in any way, shape, or form as a negative idea. Because again, no matter what conviction we have, and no matter how quickly we may change it, or no matter how quickly any individual within the collective may decide to have a differing opinion in the next instant, we still know that the overriding understanding in our reality, in our society, is that all, no matter what their opinions, by being their true selves, will still automatically and synchronistically mesh and harmonize with every other being, even if a moment ago one being had opinion A and then shifts to a being in the very next instant that has opinion B. All the other shifts that will occur in that very next instant will balance that out in such a manner as to allow all the individual relationships within the whole to still maintain a sense of proportion and appropriate relationship and balance. So we're never worried about the idea that if we change our minds again, that something is going to go haywire, because the decision to do so is always made from an absolute place of conviction, not only in what we choose to believe is true or know is true at that particular moment for ourselves individually, but what we also know is true about the idea of how the collective works, and we trust the synchronicity completely, implicitly, to the point where we know that all changes will be balanced out in some way, shape, or form. Because we act in concert, even though we are also acting as fully validated individuals within the collective. So, please do not hold back on your opinion just because you might assume we already have our own. We invite you truly to discuss this idea. And if you find, whether you decide that there should be a fifth law or that four should only remain, certainly we invite you to discuss why you have decided what it is you have decided about this. What was your reasoning? What is your logic behind it? What are your feelings behind it? You don't just have to come up and, I vote for number 5. I stay with number 4. It doesn't have to be that cut and dried. We are interested in your thought processes, in your processes of emotion, in your processes of definition. Because this adds to the overall discussion of how these perspectives are arrived at in your particular creative process, in your reality. And that, in and of itself, is information that allows all of us to decide what will work best for all concerned. For when you can describe the process that allows you to have a perspective or an opinion, what your particular personal reasonings are for why you are choosing what you are choosing, it gives everyone that's listening in that much more of a well-rounded understanding of how you arrived at this idea and why you arrived at this idea, and can actually reinforce the process itself by which you arrive at your conclusion, can actually reinforce whether or not others should decide one way or another. Not in that sense to mean that they will have no opinion without yours. Not, what should I decide because I have no opinion of my own? I don't mean it that way. But by looking at the full picture, the full process, the full experience of how these decisions are made, knowing that you're participating in a galactic issue, even though that may seem to be very small of an issue, it's not. Very profound. Very profound. So even though you are participating in this in a certain way and have your own opinion about it, the way in which you arrive at your opinion can actually help others understand how they themselves also arrive at their opinion more clearly. Or what other paths they can take to arrive at an opinion that they may not have even considered taking, because the way you go about it may, in some sense, be foreign to the way that they would normally go about it. So explaining how you arrived at your opinion can open up for them other ways, other methods, other opportunities for them to think about it, give them other perspectives, not only on this issue, but other issues that they can also form perspectives and opinions and points of view about. So this is a very holographic exercise, very holographic invitation. You are participating in this not just with a single vote, but on many different levels. And you are being observed in that participation, so that we can not only have the benefit of your perspective, but truly have the benefit of your process, and allow your processes to become part of the enrichment of the interstellar alliance in how it goes about creating and manifesting the synchronicity that exists within it for all of its members, even including what we may call the honorary ones, such as yourself. But this will be a step in the direction of allowing you to become full-fledged members in time. So the more we invite you and the more you participate at the table of discussion of the Interstellar Alliance on any issues that are put forth, the more you decide to have a say, to have a voice, the more you actively participate, once again, you are truly actively displaying your desire, your true desire to be part of the interstellar community, to be taken into account, to be heard, and to be included. And that can help accelerate your ability to participate more and more and more and more. So, take a moment now, if you wish, and once again review either the idea that law number 1 is you exist, which hasn't changed, and in the 4 laws, law number 2 is the one is the all are the one. Law number 3, what you put out is what you get back. Law number 4, everything changes except the first 3 laws. And in the new paradigm, law number 1, you exist. Law number 2, everything is here and now. Law number 3, the one is the all are the one. Law number 4, what you put out is what you get back. Law number 5, everything changes except the first 4 laws. Now, again, not to color your opinion in any way, shape, or form, but we will add another perspective on the idea of going toward 5 laws, and that is that you may recognize that 5 is the number of humanity, and therefore may actually may set up a very simpatico vibration, a very harmonious vibration in your society when you think of and view and interact with and use and apply the idea of 5 laws as opposed to 4. Not that the number 4 doesn't have its own significant vibrational patterns in your society. Certainly it does, including 3 and 2 and 1 and all the numbers in that sense. But 5 is the number of humanity itself, symbolically speaking. And if you're going to look at the idea of laws, and of course, as we have said, by laws, we mean with a capital L, not the idea of the laws of physics, which are really just local conditions, because they don't apply everywhere. They can, in that sense, be changed here and there. But when we say laws, we mean things that are true for everyone, everywhere, every dimension, throughout all of existence, and that they cannot be changed, because these laws are actually the description of the structure of existence itself, the nature of existence itself, and thus can never change. That's what we mean when we say laws. So as you examine this idea of these laws and look at the idea of whether 4 or whether 5, you are examining your relationship in this vibrational equation, in this signature frequency of 4 or 5. You're examining your very relationship to the structure of existence itself and deciding exactly in what way will you choose to feel in alignment with existence, in harmony with existence. This way, this way. It is also representative, perhaps, if you wish it to be, of a shift from one reality to another, one dimension to another, and thus then can be seen perhaps as an accelerator. Even though we understand that many times the idea of acceleration is that things get simpler and more unified, remember that it is not about the idea that we are adding something new. It's simply about the idea that we are shifting perspective to add clarity. And clarity is simplifying. So even though we may be adding a number, we are perhaps, in adding this number, actually simplifying the concept for many beings in creation. Because they are more capable of, as you say in your language, wrapping their minds around it. Because it speaks to them more clearly than perhaps having subsets or implications do. It is more direct. It is more explicit. It is more literal. So, it is up to you to ponder, each individual one of you to ponder this idea, and to know that your opinion will count in ways beyond your imagining. And even though this may seem to be a simple task that we have set on your plate, please believe us, it is not. It is very, very deeply connected to many other things going on that we're not necessarily going to share with you right now, because even though we have given you a couple of hints about things and ways to look at this issue and examine it, telling you certain other things this is connected to would truly, in a sense, color your opinion. And that we do not wish to do. We wish you to come at this clearly, cleanly, from a true belief, a true knowingness in yourself as to what you really prefer and why. Because we value the essence of your being and have no wish to mold you into matching our opinion or anyone else's in creation. We value uniqueness, individuality, and diversity because, as we have said many times, unity is not the product of homogenization. Unity, true harmony, true oneness is the product of the validation of every single difference within creation equally, thus allowing all those differences to find their proper place, their proper relationship with each other, to each other, and thus then create the orchestration that gives rise to the beautiful music of our interactions, the beautiful music of our beings. So, 4 or 5, which of course together is 9, which is a multiple of 3. That's another clue and another hint, but I won't go further than that. Allow yourselves to breathe into this, to ponder it, and to also, in doing so, as you do so, picture, imagine, visualize the idea of being part of the Interstellar Alliance. Again, as we have said, the way you picture it, the way you visualize it, doesn't have to be the way it turns out exactly. But use the visualization as if you are truly sitting at the council tables, truly on the spaceships with us, truly on other planets, in their council chambers, in their open fields, on their ships, wherever they may be, truly Picture yourselves as participating really in that way, viscerally in that way. But then, the more excited you allow those images to make you about your participation in this, as soon as you are at the height, the absolute pinnacle of that exciting energy of your participation in the interstellar alliance in this way, drop the picture. Hold on to the feeling, hold on to the state of being, and drop the picture. Drop the need for it to look like that, because you actually have no idea how this is really going to look. But I guarantee you that if you hold on to that vibration and participate from that vibration and vote from that vibration today of your time, that vibration will also be read by all the members of the Interstellar Alliance, and that will also even say more than what your words may carry about exactly how you fit, how you harmonize, how you synchronize with all of us. And space is thus then automatically made for you at the table by your own declaration of vibration, of signature frequency. So get excited about this process. Use a visualization if you have to. You don't have to, but if you wish to, you can. But then let go of the picture, because there is absolutely no way that your physical mind can know exactly how this will ultimately play out, how it will ultimately look when you are truly a full-fledged member. But that's all right. You don't have to know that now. All you need to know is that you are an honorary member now, to the degree that we are inviting you to participate in this decision, in this discussion, in this experience and exploration. And that's all you need to know. But be excited about it, for that excitement will lay down the path that you will take, and will thus then determine the method by which you take your place at the council table. We thank you for allowing us to provide this opportunity, for this is exciting to us as well. Very exciting to have guests. Very exciting to see what you will do. For you are truly, in a sense, nothing if not unpredictable. Even though many of you feel predictable, even though you may see that many times you act predictably, overall you are very unpredictable. So, this is exciting to us. We don't really know what's going to happen. We don't want to know what's going to happen. We will allow ourselves to experience what happens when it does with you. So we thank you for your participation in this. It gives us great joy to be the ones to extend this invitation to you. And we absolutely are looking, as you say, forward to our dialogues on this topic, which shall occur during the live interaction coming up after this recording. For now, all of you please take a deep breath and center yourselves for a moment. And let your imagination be your guide in picturing yourself and visualizing yourself in whatever way, shape, or form you wish to, at the council table, on the ship, on a planet, and that you are now being called upon to vote, to express your perspective, your unique point of view on this issue, and see yourself standing, rising, planting your feet firmly on whatever deck or ground you are standing upon, and with confidence and clarity and absolute passion, saying, I vote this way. And let your voice ring forth. Let your voice be counted. And we thank you. We thank you. So you may now, during your break, before the live interaction, continue to ponder this idea in whatever way, shape, or form excites you the most. We will resume this transmission with the live interaction. Thank you.